Right, Susan, take it away.
Hi. Have you ever dreamt about laughing, singing and dancing your way through Europe with a small group of fun, like-minded friends? Well, that's what our tours are all about. Now, I'm Susan Harrison-Tustain, and this is my husband, Richard.
Good to see you. I'd just like to tell you, or both of us would like to tell you a little bit about our fabulous trip of a lifetime tour in Europe next year. It's our Portrait of Europe 2020. It's the fifth one we'll be leading. We've organised it in conjunction with Kay Rogers of You Travel, and we're just really excited about the fabulous itinerary that we've arranged. The tour is really two parts, two complementary and quite contrasting parts. There's absolute splendours and magnificence of Central Europe, and then we fly down to Porto in Portugal, and we just experience amazing things there. There's a 7-night cruise on the Douro River. We'll be sampling a few ports maybe and seeing some of the sites. It's actually the barge that was used by the Queen on the River Thames for her Diamond Jubilee, so something really, really special. Kay's hired that for us, isn't she? So it's only going to be our group.
It's going to be exclusively for our group. And the wonderful thing is that each day we have amazing excursions all the way through the tour, but on that particular cruise we're going to have beautiful excursions. And then just imagine the setting is a little bit like the Orient Express. And every evening after a wonderful day, we can gather together in the piano lounge before dinner and discuss all the wonderful things and the magic that's happened during the day.
What about before the tour, that culinary backstreets? I'm really looking forward to that. One of the locals is going to take our group on a walking tour through the backstreets of Porto, and we're going to be tasting some of the food and meeting some of the people involved in creating the cuisine of Porto, which is it's regarded as the culinary capital of Portugal, isn't it, Sue?
It certainly is. That would be fantastic. And I think the great thing about a lot of the excursions that we have arranged specifically, and these are hand-picked excursions that we have created ourselves, that we have arranged for this tour, they're so diverse, but they also take you right to where the locals are. And you tend to feel a little bit like the locals, because most of our land-based stops are 3 to 4 nights.
I was just going to say, this is our brochure, and the fantastic picture on the front is Horstadt in Austria, which again is another place that we're really, really looking forward to seeing. We've got 4 nights there. It's a beautiful lakeside village in what they call is it the Salzkammergut, bit of a mouthful in Austria, in the mountains of Austria. And it's just, apparently it's been occupied for about 7,000 years, or inhabited.
Exactly, so you can imagine the excursions that we've created.
We're going to see if we can hunt down some of the original inhabitants. Might be getting on a bit by now. But no, that'll be magnificent. And before that, actually we start in Munich, then we go down to Neuschwanstein, or actually stay in Hohenschwangau, which is the little village adjacent to Neuschwanstein, the amazing fairy tale castle. And just imagine early in the morning or in the evening when we come back from our excursion during the day and just wandering up to the castle and seeing it from that bridge that looks over the castle. I think it just should be absolutely magnificent.
It's a spectacular view.
And then we go on to Salzburg and see some, of course, that's Sound of Music country, and also the birthplace of Mozart, so that's going to be really, really special as well, lots of history. Then to Hallstatt that I've mentioned. Vienna, the absolute magnificence of Vienna. Susan and I were there just 2 or 3 years ago, and it's just an incredible city with amazing palaces and things to see. Susan's a big fan of Gustav Klimt, the chap who used a lot of gold in his paintings, and there's quite a lot of Klimt work in Vienna, isn't there?
There is, but the excursions and the things that we have planned, they're just so diverse. I think that the best recommendation we could give, and of course, when you're looking at taking a tour, you want to know, now how good is this tour? How different is it? I think our best recommendation is the number of people that keep coming back again and again, repeat guests who just love the things that we create. And the other lovely thing is so often everybody wants to get back together again after the tour. So, you know, it's like a tour family almost. Everybody just melds together, and we always find we have like-minded people on the tour, which makes it extra special.
It's actually funny how we've sort of divided roles. We both lead the tour together, and my function, as it were, is to make sure that the nuts and bolts and everything's organised, and Susan is kind of the social secretary, and she makes sure everybody's having a great time. But of course our roles are interchangeable. But I was just going to say, from Vienna we go to Prague, don't we, which another incredible city, lots to see and do there. And then we go down to Pilsen, I think that's how you pronounce it. That's where they make the Pilsner Lager, and we're going to one of the breweries there to see what they get up to. Then on to Nuremberg, another amazing city in Bavaria in Germany. From there we go through Rottenburg, Ob de Tauber. Amongst other things, it's an amazing medieval village, but it also has a Christmas shop that's open all year round, isn't it?
It is stunning. It's one of those places that you never forget, just like all the things that we're going to introduce to you. So many of the things that you're going to see are places that you wouldn't even know are there. It's really local knowledge that allows us to create the tours that we create so that you get to see things that are different. You may have been to these places before, but the excursions and the things that we have created for you are just so diverse and so special.
Many of you probably know Susan as a professional artist, and during the tour she'll give you the opportunity, anybody who's interested, to perhaps splash a bit of colour around.
Yes, Richard and I love to bring some of our favourite things to do to the tour, and quite unique things. So one of those things is, as Richard said, I've been a professional artist for 30 years and I teach. So for those who have never painted before, never had a brush in your hand, or for those who'd like extension on painting, what better time than when we're away in Europe on holiday, looking at these amazing scenes. Just imagine sitting in the ancient streets, capturing the colour and the everyday life of Europe. Now, Richard can offer some wonderful things too, so would you like to talk about those?
You bet. I've always had, or for many years, since I was at school, I've had an interest in photography. Back then, of course, it was film. These days, it's digital. But during the tour, anybody who is interested, I can give some instruction on a little bit about digital photography and how to get the best out of your camera. Because, of course, we'll be seeing some amazing sights, and we want to absolutely make the most of getting a bit of a photographic record of those. Also, I was in the wine business for about 16 years, and I just love wine. I think it's a fascinating subject, and obviously in Europe, we're going to be visiting some incredible wine-producing areas. So I'll do a bit of a wine appreciation course with some amazing wines. And also on the cruise on the Douro River, we'll be sampling some of the ports, but also Portugal makes some great table wines as well, red and white, so we'll be trying some of those too. I think it's going to be a fabulous tour, don't you, Susan?
It sure is. But once again, the things that are different about our tour are that two highly experienced tour guides, which really creates quite an advantage because it allows us to give you a lot more choice because there are two of us taking care of everybody, making sure that everything is exactly how it needs to be. Our attention to detail is one of the most important things to us.
So if we've whetted your appetite, get in touch with Kay at UTravel, and this is the brochure if you'd like to find out more information. There's lots and lots of details here.
Would love to share this tour with you, so please do contact us and we're happy to answer any questions.
And we'll see you in Europe.
Bye for now.
Bye.